Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with you and you're having a great day. I am Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. Yes, yes, yes. As shiny as ever. I should say that the purpose of the Demetra K show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we're great people, but we can always strive to do better. Today, we're going to be talking about Nigerian-American singer says immigrants literally built America during his Grammy speech, and that person is Shaboozey, right? And we'll get into all of that in just a second. And then later on in this conversation, Donovan wanted to talk about Sha'Carri Richardson and something that happened with her. So we're going to have a loaded conversation, get into the comment section and all that other stuff. But I want to say also that this is not a conversation to who bang on immigrants or anything like that. This is going to be a very elevated conversation and all of that, but it definitely needs to be a conversation. Let's see, Donovan, what say you?
Yes, welcome, everybody.
And hello to the comment section, YouTube and Facebook, other side of the conversation. And thank you so much to my wonderful moderators. Love, 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 love you.
Yes, absolutely. Please forgive me, guys. I caught a cold out of nowhere, so please bear with me. I got a cough drop. I got a cough dropped in, so I'm doing the best I can. But hey, have these great conversations. It takes time, effort, and money. And if you want to donate to the show, there's ways you can do it. There's a scrolling banner at the bottom there. You can do it Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, cash, money order, however you guys want to do it. Also, please do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can get on Google Play, Apple Store. You see great videos from Brother Phil Scott, Vicky Dillard, Demetra K, Wangale, and a whole host of other contributors there. Google Play, Apple Store, great knowledge, and it's a great gift to give. This is going to be an interesting conversation. I didn't really watch the Grammys, but I'll tell you what, isn't it strange that when these immigrants get up there, they give all the glory to their home country, even though they're making money off of Black culture and Black music with Afro beats and Latin beats that they put to it. It's still Black culture. But I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I noticed that when I saw some people in clips giving their thank you speech. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. Hey, Kimmy. We're gonna get. I'll get into the comment section. Well, let me just say hello to everybody. King Noble, how you doing? Kevin, what's going on with you? Gold Crown Eyes, how are you? Let's see. Brother James, I have saw your comments, and I'm gonna get back into the comments in just a second. Black Panther Strike, what's going on with you? Window, what's up? Hope all is well. JJ Mars in the building. Buckhorse, how are you doing? And CC, how you doing? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it because I see y'all already got a lot to say. So here we go. Anyway, yesterday was the 68th Grammy award ceremony. Grammys is where they recognize music from every category, and it sounds like they're making up more and more categories every time you watch. I don't necessarily watch, but I watched yesterday with my daughter because, you know, one of her favorite artists was performing and getting awards. So we watched, and I like Bruno Mars. And if you didn't watch the tribute to D'Angelo and Roberta Flack, my God, when I tell you Black excellence showed up on the stage, yes, it did. I watched it twice because to me, that performance right there erased all of that. Oh, you know, this, that, and the other, the immigrants erased it all, right? They like you couldn't do nothing but just be in awe of the Black excellence on that stage. If you did not check it out, go check it out. But anyway, so as people got up to give their speeches and things like that, you know, of course, everything that's going on in the country with Donald Trump and ICE going here, there, and everywhere, especially we've heard a lot about what's going on in Minnesota with the ICE raids. And so the theme seemed to be at the Grammys was ICE out, right? ICE out. They wanted to get rid of ICE, defund ICE, just completely dismantle the department due to a lot of the things that we've seen, of course, with Renee Good and Alex Pretty there in Minnesota being unalived, if you will, by ICE agents. And then, of course, Keith Porter, which nobody really talks about, right? In Los Angeles, he was also unalived by an ICE agent. So there's a lot going on. And a lot of celebrities have started to use their platforms. And I should say that a lot of the speeches that I saw yes, there was a lot of people who considered themselves to be children of immigrants or immigrants got up there and, and said things about immigrants, what they bring to the country, and things like that. But this particular person, Shaboozey, you guys probably heard of him. He actually won his first Grammy for Best Country Duo or Performance for A Man with Jelly Roll. And he got up and said this. Now, he also got a strong rebuke, and I'll show y'all that in just a second. But here, you'll hear the audio of his speech. Here we go.
I said, "Dear God, I just want to say thank you. Nothing is possible without you. Your love and will preserves me through it all. I want to also thank my mother, who as of today has retired from her job after 30 years. Working in the medical field as a registered nurse in the psych ward. She worked 3 to 4 jobs just to provide for me and my four siblings as an immigrant in this country. Thank you, Mom. Sorry, I know I don't got too much time. I'm gonna read this whole speech though. I also want to thank Jared Cotter, Abbas Patti, Tina Davis, Ghazi, Nima, Nate Stevenson, and the entire Empire team for believing in me. Thank you so much, brother. And everybody else, Sean Cook, Devin Sastry, Josh Klein, and TKG, my lawyer, Bob Celeste, and everybody that's a part of this, Harvey Mason, thank you so much. I have the greatest team in the world, thank you so much. And again, the last thing I want to say, immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
Okay, so again, that was Shaboozey, right? He is a singer, rapper, country artist, or whatever. He had a really popular song a couple years back called A Bar Song. Now, I should say that he used a sample from Jaquan that says, everybody, what is it? How's it go? I ain't gonna mess it up, but the song is everybody in the bar getting tipsy, right? That's the sample that he used. Now I should say that Jaquan is, from what I saw, Black American from St. Louis, Missouri. Just want to put that out there, right? But he said a couple of things. The most important thing that caught a lot of people's ear and eye, and even white folks, it's not just us, right? It's white folks are like, what? Because they're kind of like his audience, I would think. The country white people, they're more, I would think they're more his audience. But anyway, he says that immigrants literally built this country, right? And he says, of course, they came over here for better opportunities and that they want to work for, right? That's kind of what he said toward the end. And when I heard the work for them, they actually want to work for it. And it's like, well, what does that mean? That's almost like a backhanded comment. Like we come over here and work for the better opportunities. Okay, so first of all, he is Nigerian, born in Virginia. So his parents are, migrated to America. So he is first generation Nigerian-American. Just kind of want to put that out there, right? Y'all heard him and what he said. But as I got to thinking about it, I want to just say right off the rip, that is very highly disrespectful, right? Because for one thing, you got known off of the song that you got from a Black American, right? Boo, you're here and there and everywhere, but then and I get it, the whole little immigration thing is going on, but then you slap Black Americans in the face. Well, I wasn't the only one that was mad about it. Bernice King, to be exact, was not happy. Now, she is I believe the youngest daughter of Martin Luther King Jr. She is a lawyer, activist. She's very outspoken. And she says, which it was, right? Yesterday was the first day of Black History Month, which I don't really celebrate because I'm Black all the time, But she says, it's Black History Month. And I have to ask, are people including enslaved Africans, descendants of those enslaved, and Black people whose unjust low-wage labor sustained the economy in the 1800s and 1900s as immigrants when they say immigrants built this country? Because chattel slavery was for the express purpose of building an empire. But our ancestors weren't folks who came here seeking a better life. They arrived in chains, were bred like cattle, and severely violated, and sexually assaulted. And otherwise, their trauma shouldn't be diminished or forgotten, even in efforts toward freedom from ICE's inhumane, violent tactics. We can only get justice for all when truth is taught, embraced, and spoken. So basically, she was saying, excuse me, what? Because we kept hearing that all night long. But then you hear Shaboozey, y'all heard it. It's not something I'm making up. She's like a lot of us, like, huh? What do you mean? Like, who are you including in this immigrants that built the country? Because we all know a different reality, right? And I'm going to get into that just a second. So again, ladies and gentlemen, Bernice King was like, I'm sorry, I don't remember that part of it. So this is what he tweeted actually not too long ago as I was just kind of doing some research. He says, a boy from Virginia and a child of immigrants who won his first Grammy last night. I'm forever grateful. So I don't know if that was kind of his clarification that, oh, I'm born in Virginia, but I'm a child of immigrants, because the vitriol is really all over, specifically about his comment. Immigrants literally built this country. Okay. So remember, that's what he said. Now, most of us who have read a little bit, we know that is like, well, did you? Because I went and did some digging. Let me remove this just for a second. So I was curious. I wanted to know where Nigerians were in the 1960s, how many immigrants were here. So here it says Nigerian immigrants and their descendants in the United States, the number over 700,000. So that's right about now, representing nearly 1% of the total U.S. Foreign-born population as of 2022, 2025. They are the largest African immigrant group in the country, with estimates indicating over 460 to 600,000 born in Nigeria, with significant population in Texas and Maryland, which is true, right? Okay, so at the bottom here is, let's see. No, let's go over here to the side. It says, so population date. In the 1960 census, individuals from Nigeria were likely categorized under African NAC, not as elsewhere classified, which totaled only about almost 6,000, right? People for the entire continent, excluding specific countries like Cape Verde. Now, percentage of foreign-born African immigrants, not just Nigerians, made up only 0.4% of the total foreign-born population in the United States in the 1960s. Now, at the bottom it says the 1960s, there were about 9.7 million foreign-born people in the United States, representing about 5.4% of the total population, with the overwhelming majority from Europe. Okay, just hope everybody's paying attention. Now, lastly, it says in the 1960s, the foreign-born population in the United States was approximately 5.4%. I think I actually meant to print the graph, but so I kind of read all that. Let's say so. Basically, y'all see the numbers, right? So I put that up really to illustrate, okay, hold on. So Shaboozey, his claim is, well, immigrants literally built this country. That's what he said. Immigrants literally built this country. And I'm like, okay, if I just go back to the 1960s, the immigrant population wasn't all that, right? Now, he also said, we've come over here, we've got the opportunities. Let's go back to the Civil Rights Acts of the 1960s and all that. Who are those acts supposed to be for originally? In the terms that they use, African American, right? I'm not using the term, but that's the term they use, African American or Black American, right? That was supposed to be for Black Americans, but we now know that everybody else has used it or got to use it for their benefit. And so when he makes a false claim that immigrants literally built this country, as Bernice King said, so you're going to discount the people who were brought here against our will? It's a known fact that Black American descendants of slavery, we were the foundation of this country, right? In every way, shape, or form. Now, if you want to talk about immigrants and their contribution, yeah, you could talk about the Japanese, the Chinese, and different people. They help with the railroad system, right? Like the infrastructure like that. But as far as their people being used to fund the building of this country, that's a damn lie, right? So again, as I said, there's a lot of people, and I saw people in this comment section like, oh, well, good luck with Black and white people. Because, white people, they think they built the world, and we know they didn't. They're not indigenous to the United States or whatever it is. But it's like you out there lying, and for what? For what? And I saw somebody say cancel him. I mean, you can. I don't listen to Shaboozey. I think the one song he had was pretty cool, and a bar song. But to get up there and lie to kick it, but you out there cosplaying Black American, you call yourself a rapper. Why you didn't? And again, I'm not trying to shade anybody, but why didn't you use Nigerian flavor in your music? Why didn't you sample a Nigerian artist? You know what I'm saying? So to get up there and slap Black Americans in the face is like, yeah, we're gonna see how this unfolds for you, homie. But it's kind of crazy. Donovan?
You know, real quick, let's do a little history lesson. This is why assimilation into a country is very important. When you assimilate, that means you have to at least pick. We're not saying get rid of your culture. You're going to keep your culture because that's your culture, wherever you come from, however you are. It's like being an FBA. Everybody knows what the greens are. When Kamala came out with the greens in the bathtub, everybody was calling her out because that's a cultural thing within the FBAs, right? So when you come to a country and you immigrate and flee your country, your home country, and you come to another country, you have to assimilate. Doesn't mean lose your identity. It means you need to speak English. You need to learn a little bit about the history of the country that you're in, right? But these people, tethers, whatever you want to call them, they don't want to do that. They hear these stories and they bring their racism here with them from their culture. They bring it here. They have even Obama said, you got to learn English. That is one of the tenets of becoming a citizen. But here's the problem. You got to know a country's history. I could tell you a lot about the Dominican Republic. I could tell you a lot about Japan because I lived in those places, right? I can tell you a lot about Panama, but I'm not Panamanian. I'm still trying to learn Spanish, other than slang. Here's the problem. These immigrants, legal or illegal, come here and they actually believe Black FBAs are immigrants. In their mind, they believe we are immigrants. They totally discount that we've been here for 600 years before even the United States was the United States. In their mind, because we come from enslaved people from Africa, that makes us immigrants too. And I'm not sticking up for them. I'm just telling you the lunacy of how they think. If you go to Asia, Demetria, and you have a bunch of kids over there and you start a whole new lineage over there, you never come back to America, wouldn't your kids be Asian of whatever country that is? Because that is their new home and that's where they pick up, right? This is the problem with these immigrants that come here. They have no inclination of understanding FBA history, much less American history, much less American music and culture. Like you just said, he's going to take a sample from a Black person to win a Grammy. He didn't use the Nigerian thing. But in their minds, they actually believe we are immigrants. And this is where that trope comes from, that they built the country. No, you didn't build the country. We're in the soil. We fought in every war for this country. So that's where I think their delusion is, and the disrespect. And it's kind of crazy. You're going to go to another country and disrespect the citizens that are already there, and so what? If I went to Africa, Demetria and I are both of the Zulu tribe, and I went over there and I just said, oh, the Zulus know nothing about this, that, and it was American Blacks that made Shaka Zulu, right? I wouldn't last too long in South Africa. But what do you guys think? Let's hear what you guys have to say.
I totally agree with you. And Black Panther, how you doing? And hello to everybody. You say it's total BS. First, only 2% of Africans enslaved in Central and South America made it to the United States. It was FBAs that built this country, not Africans. He needs Dr. Claude Anderson. So I don't even know if the disrespect is intentional or he, just doesn't know. But it's like he said, literally, that was the words that he used. And if y'all that didn't hear when he came in, if you want, I can play it over. Brother Todd, how you doing? He says basically why it was Tiana Taylor barely dressed. A lot of them were like that. But you know that's by design to take the clothes off the Black woman, especially, right? Take the clothes off of her, have her run around, everything hanging out of her mind and all of that. That's all by design. But I did love that Lauryn Hill, she was, fully dressed. You could see a little bit of cleavage, but nothing major. She had from top to bottom, right? Queen Latifah. So the old schoolers, they had on some clothes. I always love to see them show up and show the rest of them what class actually looks like. So yeah. Tiff, how you doing? Said that's crazy. Yep. Buckhorn says foundational Black Americans are the culture of the world, the direct children of the living God. That is true. The culture for sure. I mean, you saw it all throughout the Grammys per se, but like I said, when they did that performance at the end, boy, I tell you what, it rearranged everybody's understanding. It's like, don't you ever forget who does this, right? Raphael Sadiq, everybody was just Bilal. It was just it was beautiful. Miss Sweets, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see, and Maria, I hope I said that right. No, Marie Rogers, how you doing? Y'all names are squashed together. He says, thank you, Dimitri, my queen of descendants who built this country. I am 6 generations on daddy's side and 8 on mother's side. Be gone, Shaboozey, or whatever your name is. Tanya, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. T also, what's going on with you? Says, I wonder who put him up to it. That's what I'm saying. Is it intentional? Did he just not know? Because you got, and I get it. Like a lot of people up there probably caught in the moment. Everything is going on with the ICE raids, and so they want to pay homage to the immigrants. ICE out and all that other stuff. But to get up there and just to say that kind of stuff is like, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? Michael, you says, American freedmen of chattel slavery. And how you doing, by the way? Involuntary built, there you go, involuntarily, right? Built America and created a foundation for immigrants. Immigrants need a real understanding of Black American history, period. Yep. Free Dog, how you doing? So the Chinese only built as about 200 to 300 miles in the West. Yeah, so I'm saying, just for context, yeah, they were part of some of the infrastructure, but hell, that was, probably at least, 50 years after slavery ended, right? That they came along and was like, okay, we'll work on the railroads and that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm saying by that. Brother James says everybody needs to read the book The Fall of America by Elijah Muhammad. I be trying to tell them, right? We're starting to see a whole lot of things unfold. I have mine here. Yes indeed. Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. DJ Biggs, what's going on? It says our ancestors were also already here even before slavery. Some were, I guess, and some were. My ancestors weren't already here, at least on my dad's side. I'm still researching my mom's side, but mine's were not. So just, your
mom's from Nigeria. We saw Mother Zulu over there.
South Africa, yeah. But my on my dad's side, we go back to the 1700s so far. That's as far as I've gotten so far. I'm still, working on my mom's side. It's gone back to the 1800s as well. But yeah, so just, Florida, how you doing? Says, what did I walk into? Yes. My name is Kiki. How you doing? Says, yep, they have their own caste system and tribalism. Sound like you said you never heard of Shaboozey? Yeah, he had that real big song, Everybody in the Bargain Tipsy. That's how it sounds. Osa, how you doing?
So he also took on an American accent to make the song, right?
Well, he said he's born in Virginia, so he probably would already have one, I would imagine. But yeah, he sounds, that's how it sounds. Everybody in the bargain tipsy.
And hey, mods, even though we have trolls in the chat, just let them stay up in there. It brings up the algorithm.
And they get education too, unless they acting too crazy up in here. It says, hi, D&D, I'm an immigrant. I wish immigrants would stop this ignorance. I always remind immigrants that it's a sacrifice of Black Americans. We wouldn't have the privilege we enjoy now. And I love and appreciate you for that. And again, I'm not trying to come off as disrespectful or anything like that. I just kind of want to, give some context to it. But I appreciate you for that because I'm not saying Black Americans are perfect, but I just think, I don't know, you just have to wonder, is the disrespect on purpose or is it ignorance? You know what I mean? I don't know. You get up there and you say immigrants literally built the country, and it's like that's factually not factual. Truth is, just everybody didn't come from enslaved people. That is true. Everybody did not. Dexter, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Sister Shirley says white supremacy want people to erase Black Americans as people, and particularly the Democratic Party. Yeah, we ain't going nowhere. We don't die. We multiply.
See, and this is the problem about letting these immigrants into your communities. They overwhelm the community, and then your culture is basically wiped out. Be it marriage and whatever else you're going to do, it wipes out your culture. That's why you have to gatekeep your culture. You just do.
Yeah. Hey, Yanni, how you doing? And Free Doggy says, quit giving these non-Black Americans a pass and making excuses for them. They know, they just think you don't know. I don't know what he knows. I'm asking questions. That's how we get to a conclusion. The best we can, we ask questions. I'm asking, did he know, or or is it willful, or is it unintentional? That's kind of where I'm at with it, because to make a statement like that is like, either you knew or you don't. You know or you don't know. There's no in between, right? Because the statement, he said literally. So he put an emphasis on literally built the country. And it's like, huh? And then, I don't know if you heard, but it was a rocket applying. Whoa! When he said that. So it's like, okay. So it's not about me making excuses. I don't know Shaboozey to make excuses. He ain't giving me none of that money. So I don't have a reason to make excuses for him. Free Mind, how you doing? Says, what war FBA fight? He says, what war? I think you responded to something, Donovan. Listen, what we're not going to do is be silly. We're not going to be silly. Goddamn well, excuse my French. I know that was kind of strong for it's Monday evening. Sorry, excuse me. I said got, okay? That's a straight walk to Google, and you can get the answer to that. So to say, hell, Black Americans fought in the Civil War. And even before that, right? The American Revolution.
The very first person killed was a Black man.
Come on now. So to ask stupid questions, I said stupid. See, I said I wasn't going to get like I did yesterday, but I probably do reset next week. So I'm asking stupid questions. Stop saying stupid stuff. Because when you ask stupid questions, see, because when I came up in school and at work and things, they had this thing. There's no such thing as a stupid question. And I always thought, well, that's a lie. There are stupid questions, and that's stupid. What war did Black Americans fight in? Just dumb. I mean that respectfully, I think. JD says many of them, the Black ones, do actually know there was Black American slavery. They know, but I'm saying to have that, I was fooled. Like there was no stuttering when he said that. So are you being willful, or is this like what are we doing here? Keep it plain. How you doing? Says these immigrants need to go. Well, you also got to remember there's immigrants that are here legally, right? So we're not talking about them, but I don't care if they're legal or illegal. Don't be disrespectful, okay? Because then when we have conversations like this, then people accuse us of being hateful. Oh, y'all, like, nah, so we can't say nothing. We're not supposed to say nothing about that. You get up there and get a Grammy. We don't own the Grammys, right? I rarely even watch the stuff I just did yesterday. We don't own the Grammys, but you get up there. And like a lot of them, you get up there off of the backs of Black American culture, and then you say stuff like that. That's where it's problematic, because it wasn't white folks that you were cosplaying. And somebody said it, yes, country belongs to us. Regardless of what white people say, country belongs to Black Americans, right? So even if you're doing country, you're doing rap, whatever it is you're doing, you didn't do it Nigerian style, whatever that is, right? And I like some Nigerian music, whatever it is, but he didn't do that. That's all I'm saying. Cornelius, how you doing? So we FBA have to stop playing games with these people. They have no respect for us. We FBA never try to run any group country. Yeah, because they wouldn't let us, first of all, and they shouldn't, right? Bama, how you doing? Says disrespect the FBA ancestors. Yeah, and it's very disrespectful. There is no gray area in that at all. Disrespectful, and all the people that clap for that. You know what I mean? Because what you do is you erase and it's not Black history, it's American history of what happened to us. You erase that, and not that he could, because I saw a lot of people say, oh, you just invalidated Black Americans. Like, how y'all giving this credit to this man to invalidate Black Americans? He don't have the power, because our history is our history, right? The things that have happened to us and the things that we've done is our history. He can't erase that. But what he did is invalidate himself. That's what he's done. Let's see. Skipping down. Arson, how you doing? Says, oh my God, this talk is so complicated, but to put your mind at ease, I need to go on record and say that he shouldn't have said what he said, at least not in that way. No, he shouldn't have said it at all, because and I get where you're coming from, Arson. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just not my nature to be doing all of that. But he shouldn't have said that in any way, right? Because one thing Black Americans will tell you, and I've seen a lot of people say, hey, get around some Black Americans. If you've immigrated over here, get around some Black Americans, because we'll get you caught up to speed about white supremacy. One thing they will do is once they done celebrating you, yeah, Shaboozey, we're in the bargain, Tipsy. Once that record is done and old with them, they're going to discard you. And then you're going to be like, hey, hi, big head. How y'all doing, Black Americans? And we're going to be like, yeah. And I should also say there was a Latino artist by the name of Lefty Gunplay. He won now I know some of you Kendrick Lamar fans, y'all. But anyway, he won a Grammy with Kendrick Lamar, right? He's Latino. But not too long ago, he said he would never let his daughter marry a Black man, and he would never sign to a Black label. But you got a Grammy with, Kendrick Lamar, who's supposed to be the king of Blackness, right? And then he says, as a Latino, this means a lot, for a Latino to get a Grammy in this. And it's like, but just a minute ago, you was talking about how you wouldn't let your daughter be with a Black man and you wouldn't sign to but y'all still needed Black Americans to get there.
There's a famous song, hey, talking out the side of your neck. Cameo, go look it up. And that's what these tethers and these immigrants do. They talk out of both sides of their neck. If it's getting an award or getting money or taking advantage of a situation, they talk out both sides of their necks.
Seven says, how you doing? Says, I don't like any of that Shaboozey songs. I don't know any Bad Bunny songs. I mess with Bad Bunny, right? He was like one of my top artists on my Spotify. I like Bad Bunny. I don't hardly know a lot what he say, but I like Afro Latin jazz and music like that. But Bad Bunny, yeah, he all right with me. But one thing I would say about Bad Bunny know where he come from. He's Puerto Rican, he's American. If anybody didn't know that, he knows who he is, and he did something that was so gangster. He says he had a concert in Puerto Rico. His concert was in Puerto Rico. He says, if you want to come see me, you need to come to Puerto Rico. And it was sold out, one of the, highest earning concerts. Also, it boosted the economy because, the rest of the United States, per that of Trump, ain't trying to help Puerto Rico, which Puerto Rico is a part of the United States. But he was like, yeah, y'all need to come to Puerto Rico to see me. And every concert was sold out. So, and of course, y'all know he'll do the Super Bowl this weekend. A lot of people don't like that.
And you got to remember that that's a business decision. Why did they select him? He as of Latino descent. And what's the majority of people out here? That's a business decision. And I'm not mad at it, but you got to think of the business of it. The NFL is a business first.
And he's American, because a lot of people, oh, he's not American. Like, Puerto Rico is part of America. Uncle G, how you doing? Says, where did the Black Brits stand on this issue? I'm not quite sure. I've seen some of them say certain things. Listen, they got their own issues with they form a white supremacy over there. They got
and the immigration over there. They're having problems with the Nigerians and all these people coming over there from the former colonies. So they're having a bunch of problems.
Yeah, they got the triple OG white supremacy over there. Larry, how you doing? Says, we are the only people that know about our history more than everybody else. He says, Forrest, Ben, America, and where we come from. We all know that, and we know the history more than mostly everybody. I don't know about that. I say we know some. We don't know what some of us, a lot of us don't know what we should know, but we know the basics, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let me skip down a little bit so I don't get too far behind y'all. I love you too. My name is Kiki. Burma, James, how you doing? And you're speaking to Arson. Text, well, what's going on? Long time no see. Hope you're well. African native in the building. How you doing? Salute. How you doing? Says, build what? I guess the FBA slaves just stood around and watched. Wow, this happened. Yeah. Brother Jonell, how you doing? Says, just call him Columbus. Majority of these artists are selected Black slavers who keep the colonizers' programming in bloom. So their talking points are the colonizers' mouth. Some willingly Some ignorantly, nothing will stop the truth of the Black nation divine elevation. There you go. I should have just read that and we could have got out of here early, but you're 100% right. You know, but I don't know if I would have, like you said, Donovan, gone to somebody else's award ceremony in their country and made such a statement. I would have just said, thank you for this award. It's great. Love you. Thank you. You know, Brother James says, Demetri, it's intentional. And guess what? The Shills and the Boulets are doing things for them. I believe when the Democrats get back in office, they will pass a hate crime bill for them. They might. Luke Skywalker, how you doing? Says fitting their agenda. Yep. Sister Shirley said the Democrats and Republicans are like too much salt or too much sugar. Neither one is good for you. Come on now. So you're saying they're both, salt, sugar, and neither one good. Yep. Totally agree. Mad Dog, how you doing? Crystal, how you doing? Says y'all still gonna vote blue no matter who. Now you know what? Whoo, she didn't say a word. Because it's true. When you say y'all, you mean them, right? I probably won't do that at all. But you're right. We're still, the majority of us are still going to show up for the Democratic
Baby boomers.
Oh, well, not just baby boomers, because they started going up to glory, right? But the younger people too. It's to vote blue no matter who, this, that, and the other. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I agree with you. We're still going to be the largest voting bloc for the Democrat Party.
Yeah, and real quick, I was looking at it was a Democratic meeting, and they actually admitted the game plan of letting all of these immigrants into the United States. Ask yourself, when they were doing this without vetting people, whatever, remember a few months ago, a few shows ago, I said what this is about, if it makes any sense, it's about the census. They want, because in the census, you don't have to be a citizen to be counted for those resources. And a Democratic conference, they had admitted that was the playbook, and they didn't realize they were going to get this type of blowback from the immigration. So not saying that I'm right and I'm patting myself on the back, but you really got to look deep. Why are they just opening the floodgates and letting these people in here that no vetting, no nothing? They're just letting them in, criminal, whatever. There's got to be a reason. And they said it was the census.
I'd imagine so. Albie Chill said, man, I ain't getting no love tonight. Yes, you are. And if you listen, I love you. I do. I'm gonna try my best to read everybody's comments at least once. So if I've skipped over you, please forgive me. Find it in your heart. Yes, indeed. Henry, how you doing? Says he putting something in the drinks too. Who put something in the drink? Are you talking about in the bar getting tipsy? I don't know about all of that. Child of God, how you doing? Says, why aren't the Black American musical artists checking them on site? I don't know. They should be. Maybe they don't care. Like I said, I don't really trip off of award ceremonies because it's them folks, you right? For us to get mad about awards, I'm not talking about the award. I don't care about that. Would also say, well, we need them to validate us. I mean, we know our music is good. Like I said, if you watch the end of the Grammys, that tribute, boy, I tell you what, they went to church, in some other places, right? Just Black excellence, all of it, every last note, Black excellence. Text Warrior says the problem is when people say immigrants built America, they talking about the Ellis Island immigration, the New York from the 1900s. Yes, so there's that's what I say. Any places like a melting pot of immigrants, it's probably New York. They called that the portal at one time to America. But yes, even then, America was pretty much stable off of the back.
It was already built. Yeah, even they didn't come until the 1920s and 30s. America was already built.
Yeah.
The infrastructure was in place.
Right. First class citizens said they're deliberately going out of their way to mock us and perpetuate the stupid immigrant built the country narrative. Yeah, you can't keep doing that. Doug, how you doing? Say he also sings the intro for Thursday. Oh, does he? I didn't know that. So he getting some shmoney. Thursday night football. Did not know that. Hey, Brother Raven, how you doing? It says long before slavery kicked off, we were here laying the groundwork. It says Shaboozey, I think, or whatever, his parents wouldn't be allowed if not for us, American indigenous people fighting for civil, affirmative, and voting rights, which all these immigrants get to enjoy. They need to see the water hoses, dog bites, yes, batons, and jail time is real. Us real American melanated people suffered building this country. Folks go out of their way trying to downplay our significance. We the heart of America. Come on now. Mad Dog said that's why I don't watch the Grammys or any award shows. Well, he could have said that anywhere, right? It didn't need to be the Grammys, but he said it there. And I saw somebody say, you know, they should take politics out, but you know, just on one hand, if these celebrities and stuff don't say anything, oh, they're silent, you know. So it's like they can't win for losing, really. Mr. South Carolina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. African Native says in Germany, those Nigerians used to fool German girls that they are Black Americans. Really? He says doing to the men. Interesting. Texas Puncher, how you doing? Says you diasporas in here saying we jealous, shaking my head. I mean, I didn't say that you were jealous. I don't know, somebody else has said that. Are you talking about? I don't know who you're talking about, but I didn't say anybody was jealous. So I hope that didn't go off like that. Keeping it plain. Says there's no immigrants. There's no immigrants didn't build this country. It's time to go. Yeah, I should say a lot of immigrants don't feel that way for whatever reason. He got up there and said it. Pauline, rather, how you doing? Says Black British immigrants are just jealous of FBA, love England. Yeah, I don't hear too much about them. Maybe just not on my timeline type thing. Soul Glow Air, how you doing? Says create your own Black. Come on now, American awards for every genre. They won't be able to mess with you. I'm with you on that. I don't understand why it hasn't been done. You know, Keith Lee, y'all know who he is. He's the I don't know if he's necessarily a food critic, but he reviews food. Put it that way. He's doing his own Black festival. He said, we're going to start our own Black festival. It's going to be food, entertainment, a whole host of things. And he just decided we're going to do festivals and they're going to start off in New Orleans, right? And it's going to travel all around. And he's like, and I'm paraphrasing, but we're not going to keep hearing about these festivals that they having for us, right? That's not by us. We'll just do it ourselves. So that's where we need to get back to. Let's do our own stuff and not let everybody co-opt it and sell it and all. Just do our own thing. So I agree with you. Red Sigma, how you doing? Says, oh, he knows. So you say he know he being disrespectful. Well, we're gonna see how that works out for him, you know, because that's the one thing I said about a lot of people who come over here, whether they're from the continent or Latin America, whatever. They come over here and try to get together with white folks, and white folks is like, get away from me, right? We like one song of yours, but we don't like you. Yeah, we'll put some white girls in your video. Everybody in the bargain tipsy, and you got all these bony white women in there, but that's as far as it's gonna go, homie. We don't like you. We like that you bring us a lot of money. That's what we like. And then when they find that out, it's like Tyler, for example, you know, she was doing pretty well. Bring me water, or whatever her song is, right? Well, however it goes, but she was doing well, and then she got this talking crazy. And people are like, oh, you ain't know? We don't call ourselves colored over here. Now, I know that's actually a class in South Africa, and it's not derogatory over there, but over here. And then when she was told about it, it's kind of like, well, so what kind of attitude? So white folks, they like her, but you need Black Americans to take you to the, like, you know, your grandma put some of that seasoning on it, then it's like, okay, now it's good. See, they need that Black American cosign. White folks, when you're done with you, it's back to where you came from, right? Herschel, how you doing? Kimmy, what's going on with you? Says, what did Black, and you say, I don't know if you're being disrespectful with a Black, listen. I stopped talking because I just realized that I am tired, but I'm thinking I just don't really have the energy to get nice, nasty with people tonight. You know what we build. Stop acting silly, okay? Please. Stop acting silly. That's all I got for right now. I mean, they control. I mean, who are they trolling? You know, if Black, and that's all the thing. I often wonder, even from white supremacists, if Black people, Black Americans are inferior, why do you waste your time even trying to say anything to us? I wouldn't talk to something that's like me trying to talk to a roach. Hey, roach. Listen, why do you think you're all of that, Roach? Roach, why do you? I think I'm superior to a roach. I'm not gonna spend my time trying to talk to a roach and you ain't this and you ain't that. That's because y'all don't really believe that about Black Americans. See, y'all want us, and I say y'all, I'm talking about I'm not being specific. I'm just saying people who are not Black Americans, y'all don't want us to believe that. But like I said, if you just go to the end of the Grammys, that right there tell you we don't even need to talk. All we got to do is sing. Because nobody brought what they brought last night. I'm just deducing it down to something as simple as singing. Nobody on that stage up until that point did that. So you asking what we built? I guarantee you, wherever you from, you probably don't listen to the music where you from more than you listen to our music. I bet you $1 to a donut. So Z Goddess, how you doing? Says, who is Jesus? Man on the cross, USA, everyone knows. I mean, Jesus, I don't know. I don't even know what that is. Del Monte Green Bean says, that was the Okie Doke Show Awards. What y'all think is going to happen? Yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't normally watch, but there's a few people I wanted to see. I was trying to go to bed. In fact, I did. I woke up when they did the tribute at the end. I was like, oh, I'm so glad I did. Let's see. Let me skip down a little bit because I see I'm so behind. Harmony, how you doing? So sad thing is there were plenty of FBAs who could have and should have corrected him. Well, they in his behind on the internet. They let me know, right? Mad Dog said somebody is trying to get you out of your skin. Oh, yeah. Albie Chu says Christmas addicts. That's exactly who it was. Oh, I'm that far behind. I am so sorry. Skipping on down, Maureen, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Solomon, what's going on? You says I thought he grew up in Virginia. He did. He is first Nigerian-American first generation, but his parents are immigrants from Nigeria. If that makes any sense. So, but they corrected him on that because he said, "Oh, I'm a Virginia boy," and they're like, "Okay, born in Virginia, but your parents are Nigerian, so you're still pretty connected to the Nigerian culture." That's what a lot of people are saying.
Yeah. And you got to think about this. If you're first or second generation, you're still talking to your grandparents who probably migrated here with you as a anchor baby or whatever for your parents. And this is why they have such empathy, because they're still close to that generation that came from the home country. This is why they're like, hey, my grandparents, they're nice people. They should be allowed to stay here. Dimitri could tell you, if you're from California, this is a talking point of the Hispanics here in California. Hey, my grandparents are, they're nice people. They don't bother anybody, whatever. But where is your loyalty? Is your loyalty to the United States and the rule of law? Or is it to Mexico and wherever you're from to do all of that? But this is how they think. Nothing logical in how they're thinking. Because, oh, I love my grandparents, so they should be allowed to stay. So yeah, all the immigrants aren't bad. And nobody said all the immigrants are bad. I will always bet most people are for legal immigration. I'm for legal immigration. How could you have a problem with people who are against illegal immigration?
And Godfrey, how you doing? Since Shaboozey is practically American, and despite his Nigerian roots, I mean, he's Nigerian-American. He is that. He's born in America. So, I mean, to me, that's not even a point of contention, because technically speaking, his nationality is American. He's born here. That's not are we arguing over that? That he's American. If he's born in America, he's what? He's American. That's not. Some things are just logical. It's just facts, right?
But I do agree with Donald Trump in that if not one of your parents is American, you shouldn't be American. So I agree with that. And this is my opinion. Think about the people who came here under TPS. If you come under here under a status, you should be like any diplomat that comes to this country to do government work. You do not get certain rights here. So if you've been here for 15, 20 years, some of these TPS Somalis and all these other groups, you've been here 15, 20 years. In the 15 or 20 years you're here, you're having children. Those children should not be considered American for the simple fact that you're under temporary status, because now you got to go back. Oh, they're separating families. Oh my God. No, we're not. Take your kids with you.
I was just looking up something really quick. Let's see. Hold on a second. Hold
on. Kimmy Rochelle says dual allegiance is dangerous. Yeah, exactly. If And I know, Kimmy, we're not the only ones that see that. Raven says beg. Buckhorse says free mind. Are you fundamental black?
So my thing is this: if Donald Trump said that, he's a farce because it's barren American. His mama is what is she, Slovenian or something?
Right, but Trump is American. He's saying one of your parents should at least be American.
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you said if one of your parents weren't American. Okay, that's why I was like, huh?
Yeah. Trump is saying at least one of them. If neither of your parents are American and you're under temporary status or you just got here, those kids wouldn't be American. And personally, I agree with that. It makes sense. Because if I go to Japan, I can't own any property there, whatever. Everything has to be in the Japanese person's name or whatever. And most countries are like that. You will never be considered into their country or your children if both parents are not of that nationality. Now, Trump is saying at least one of your parents should be American.
Got you. Okay, that's why I was like, okay, all right. So skipping down, I'm sorry, y'all. I just want to look at something. Bobby, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. HP Brat, what's going on? So shout out to my immigrants who helped build this country. Okay. Michael, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. See, what y'all not, y'all can't get under my skin. You gotta try harder than that. You know, Mo Bay, how you doing? And see, that's the other thing too. And I'm not trying to really go that. I don't like really getting too far into the weeds with the conversation about people being immigrants or whatever. That's just not my talking points. But for those that and there's immigrants that are friends of the show, so I'm not talking about them. But for the ones that come over here and say stuff like that, and then it's like. And then y'all wonder why Black Americans just say, yeah, it's time to delineate. Because even with having this conversation about what Shaboozey said and it's wrong, for some reason that's incendiary to you. Why is that incendiary to correct Shaboozey for lying? He's literally lying. Okay? It's a lie. And let's say he didn't know. Well, there's a lot of people saying, hey, you sitting up there lying. But y'all are mad about that. Damn well, immigrants didn't build this country. Y'all weren't even over here like that when slavery was hot and popping. And I don't mean that in a good way. Y'all weren't over here like that. Right? So it's like to say that you did that. Have you contributed to something? Yeah. But this country wasn't built off of the backs of immigrants. It's just a lie. And to keep on furthering the lie is why you see the attitude of Black Americans the way it is now. It's like, y'all hey, as my daddy used to always say, God rest his soul, you let your knowledge take you where your knowledge is going to take you. Since you know everything and Black Americans ain't did all that, well, then y'all going to make it do what it do, homie. Since y'all built this country, you going to tell that to Trump and Tom Homan and them that y'all built this country, see if y'all can change his mind. And I'm talking about the people who are here illegally. Just, for information. Kathleen, how you doing? Says immigrants didn't build anything. They built some things, but they didn't build this country. They contributed to certain things, right? But as far as, America wouldn't be America without it, that's a lie. It was already America in a sense, of what it was. And hell, white folks are immigrants, right? So we can even say that. But America was already what it was to a degree before they got here. I think that's what a conversation is. But to say we add color to the country is like,
I don't know what TV show they're watching, but all I'm saying is all these immigrants that are here are causing mass chaos. That's what I'm seeing in real time. So I don't know what they're watching, but
yeah, and I wouldn't say that. And again, I always like to make the difference between legal immigrants and illegal immigrants, because it's not all of them. I just like to do the line of demarcation because there is a pathway to citizenship here, just like there's a pathway to citizenship to all countries, or most countries, I would think, right? You have to go through the protocol or whatever it is, but you over here and you know that you're not supposed to be over here. Again, this was under the Obama administration too. This is not new. Deportation isn't even before Obama. Deportation is not new. But it's gotten ratcheted up to where it is now because you do have the Democrat Party that's running around screaming and hollering, oh, it's not fair, abolish ICE and things like that. But it's like, I
But
serve.
wasn't this the same? But wasn't this the same Democratic Party that was under Hillary and Obama? You've got to do this. You've got to do that. Close the border. They were complaining about the border being open under Bush and all this other stuff. Do you guys see the political gamesmanship that they play? I mean, go back and look at the videos from the 90s, and you will see the Democrats complaining about illegal immigration.
Yeah, text for you're not blocked, and it's me. I haven't got. It's taken me forever to get to these comments, so I'm sorry you're not blocked at all. I do see your comments, so please, please, I don't think that, but you, as you can see, you're not blocked. DJ Biggs, how you doing? Says remember KRS-One went to the United Nations with this false narrative that Caribbeans created hip hop, and the Biden-Harris administration with the lie that part of the factor. Yeah, and KRS-One. Boogie Down Productions. A lot of them, the old hip hop heads or whatever. Some of the things that they're saying is like, really? Oh no, So yeah, that's it's disappointing. It is. MC Fact says, Jackson, how you doing? Jasmine Crockett ain't so-called baby. She's not but yeah, she's younger than I, right? She's 44, I think she is, or something like that. So yeah. Sunlight says, I got to see the tribute. Y'all say it's at the end. Yeah, man, I'm going to tell you right now, if I wasn't already in the bed, I would have been running around for real. Let's see. Stardale, how you doing? Says, Lauryn Hill and her musical set demonstrated what Black excellence is all about. You better tell them again. I'm telling you, just the look of it. They understood the assignment, the way they were dressed. They, regal, they were singing and playing, right? Like this wasn't none of this manufactured stuff you see with the auto tune and all this other, singing with tracks. These people, they showed up to show out. They closed it down. Okay. I want to say they closed it down. They closed it down. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Skipping on down. I see everybody in Scoopy says, let's be honest, a lot of us are politically ignorant. They vote with their hearts, not their brains. Hey, you said it, I didn't. Arson says, not attack at all, but question about Donovan saying immigrants could erase your culture. If I understood correctly, take away the arrivals post 60s. What would he do differently about blacks today? Is that what you're saying? Do you understand that?
Yeah. Well, basically, when you let 27 million people come into a country unvetted, bringing their culture with them. Let's just forget about Black culture. Let's just talk about American culture. When you let 27 million people come into the country and they bring their culture and they are not forced to assimilate like FBAs were and all that other stuff, what do you think is going to happen to American culture? It is so sad right now that I was talking to my nephew a couple months back. He didn't even know what Tom Sawyer was. Huckleberry Finn. These are great American novels that is part of the American culture. Forget FBA culture, white culture, whatever. We're talking about the American culture. Here in my city, most of the people are Hispanic. They don't even teach American history in the schools. They teach other. So that's the problem when you let these people flood. And let's just reverse it. If a bunch of Americans went into Mexico, which they did during COVID, what were the Mexicans people saying? You got to learn Spanish. We don't want you here. We don't need to put our menus into English. They were saying the exact same thing that we say here. Every country has rules and regulations of how you immigrate there.
Yeah. And it's, and I think that's the unfortunate part about the Democrat Party. They just won't stay there with it. It's making it. And again, Trump, I don't like how Trump is doing it. I think it's wrong the way they're going about doing things. But the Democrat Party and a lot of protesters are not making it easy, and let's keep it a buck. They are recruiting, they being ICE, they're recruiting people is like, they shouldn't even be a mall security guard, right? But they're recruiting these people. So yeah. But so yeah, he says a big problem with immigrants, they escape their country to come and enjoy the benefits of FBA sacrifices rather than fight for the betterment of back in their country. And I get it, again, somebody said, I think beautifully, not saying to you, but I'm just saying in general, that we should read more, pick up a book. As I always talk about this book here, I got so many books on my desk, it's crazy. This book here, Tattoo Soldier, it talks about what happened. This is Guatemala. I think the book it's fictional, but it talks about some really good things of how their countries get destabilized by the American governments and why they come over here. Because a lot of times they will face persecution, death, a whole lot of other things if they stay. So they have to escape. And the United States government, they fund a lot of the guerrilla warfare and, the rogue groups and stuff. So that's why a lot of them come over here. So it's not like a lot of them don't want to stay. A lot of them want to stay. Also, when we think about the immigrant, and this book taught me this, I got this from I forget which class it was in college. But a lot of them that come over here, they're like lawyers and doctors, like they got prestigious stuff that they're doing over there. And this particular character in this book, he was a doctor. But because his government was destabilized, it came over here and he had to wash dishes for like next to nothing, right? Like lived a life of despair. I won't give it away if you ever read it, but it's a damn good book. And it opened my eyes as to why people come here. Because we are told that, oh, they just over here because they just trying to come over here. No, a lot of people really would like to stay where they are, but it's just sometimes it's not safe for them to do that. So I'm just kind of giving it some context because I don't like to talk in absolutes and not tell the whole side of the story. No reparation, no vote. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Kathleen says they better stay out of the sun this summer. You talk about them folks. It's gonna be a hot one, right? Text Warrior says in the cities not long. It depends on where they sending them. It is the migrant population higher in the north or south or rural areas, and is it only Black American areas? I would say probably more so border states. They're more of depending on where they're coming from, but they're everywhere, right? And a lot of times in Black American areas, especially under the Biden administration, we saw that they came over here, and a lot of these like Democrat mayors and stuff, they say, yeah, we know a place you could go. And a lot of that was, they went to some in other areas, but predominantly, I believe it was Black American areas where you have a group called Chicago Flips Red, who was trying to flip Chicago red and out of the Democrats' hand because of the disrespect that took place with that. Eddie, how you doing? Says, that guy should bring Afrobeat music over here from Africa and stop trying to take credit for what he I think the word probably got jumbled. It says what we've done. I think you meant, yeah, I mean, Afrobeats. I like Afrobeats, right? I think it's pretty cool. I like music from everywhere. So I know some people probably, but I like music regardless of who's singing it, right? But I agree with you. I think they got some pretty cool music. I really do. Let's see, 7 cents. She says it's going to take some effort to get these non-Black Americans out of here, entrenching themselves here more every day. Hope you heard my explanation. Raven says it's sad watching our people begging to get the into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Majority of music created by us, build our own, and others would be to get in our own hall. I agree with you. I'm trying to find another book that I have. I don't think I have it up here, but a reason why I want to talk about this book, I don't like to mention it on here for obvious reasons. I don't have it. Deanna, can you bring me my book from my room? You know which book I'm talking about? The one you always get mad that I talk about.
Pimp. Iceberg Slim, The Story of My Life. That one?
I gave that book to my nephew. Yes, I'm well versed on Iceberg Slim, Donald Goings. Yes, I am. Okay.
Yes, if you have daughters, I'm just going to say this. If you have daughters, make sure they read that book, because if they understand game, they will recognize game when it's being run on them.
For sure. For sure. Okay. I'm very familiar. Thank you. My daughter know what book I'm talking about. She's like, you can't just tell my phone but it won't make any sense. But thank you. Ooh, you don't be cussing at your mama. So this book here, right? Y'all can read it. I actually have 3 of them. My daddy gave me these. I have 3 volumes. See it? Okay. Now, these particular books from the Nation of Islam, I'll tell you, their research team is cold. When I say cold, bar none. So I'm talking about this comment. Hey, FBI Convo, how you doing? Let's see here. Where did the comment go? I just want to here. The reason why I brought that book up is because in these books, it talks about how when slavery was over, because it's 3 different volumes, slavery is over. It's like, okay, great. We can't profit off of the slaves anymore, like because of slavery. but we'll entrench ourselves in everything that they do. We'll become their merchants, right? And this is all backed up. This is not no opinionated book, all backed up. We'll become in every aspect of their life. So that took place. Talking about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, we in a sense are like, well, if we're not in there, then we're not validated. That all the stuff that comes out of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, that most of it, a lot of it, right? Not all, but a lot of it originated from us. So do we need the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I know that we've been conditioned to think that we do, and it's because of that relationship that has been forced, right? It wasn't really one we wanted, but it was forced, if that makes any sense. So yeah. I'm just skipping down. Stay on code. How you doing? Says Satanic Music Awards. I'm good. Ooh, yeah, Lady Gaga. I was like, what the hell she got going on? Eston Magallian. How you doing? Says FBA did build, but let's get off the gas pedal. Okay. Europe first. How you doing? Says Immigrants didn't build America. Yeah.
Hey, real quick, you guys do me a favor, hit that like button on your way in or out. Hit that like button, share on your platforms.
Ursa, how you doing? Says I've seen something on social media about celebrating Black History Month with food from the diaspora. Yeah, I mean, Black History Month, I don't celebrate Black History Month, and I haven't for a long time, and not because I don't think it's important. I know this is the 100th year of Black History Month by Carter G. Woodson. He created that for obvious reasons, right? I just feel like Black history never goes away. We don't need 28 days to tell us. I guess it's good to focus on Black history, but we should be thinking and speaking about Black history all day, every day in our community, because that's what everybody else does. You know, I'm not saying it's not cool to have it, but other communities, they talk about their history all the time, right? And we should be doing that as well. So yeah. Skipping down. Old school. How you doing? So I agree with Trump. If both parents are not American, you should not be considered American. Damn, I'm not far behind in these comments. Y'all going in the comment section. Let's see. Just going all the way down. Chocolate Bunny says exactly. If you don't have at least 10 generations in this land, you are not 10. That's a lot. I don't know if most people have 10 generations. Do most people have 10 generations? That's like damn near back to the Garden of Eden.
It's very small unless the women were starting super early.
Yeah, the Garden of Eden. I'm just playing. I don't want anybody to get mad. I'm just playing. Richard says, I disagree with the immigrant setup. Illegals are illegal because melanated Black Americans don't benefit from also the business and land health system that most melanated Black people, Black Americans don't. Okay. Let's see. Just going down. Brooklyn Lady, how you doing? And Apex Tracks, how you doing? Says, I'm for selective immigration. And Brooklyn Lady says Trump is only like second. That's why I was looking. Only second generation himself. His father migrated over here too from Germany. I think his grandparents did, if I'm not mistaken. His grandparents. But yeah. I'm just saying. Southern Belle
Well,
says,
but is that reasonable to have at least one of your parents be American? I mean, I think that's very reasonable.
Well, then you got to change the law. I mean, if you're born.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Of course you got to change the law, but what I'm saying is, it would make sense.
If I was born in Dominican Republic, wouldn't I be Dominican?
No.
What would I be then?
You're still an American.
But my nationality would be what?
American.
If I'm born in the DR,
you're still American.
How? So if I was Dominican and
because you're not a citizen and your parents aren't a citizen.
Okay, but I'm saying, so my parents in the DR have to be a Dominican, so they don't have like the anchor type situation in
right.
DR.
They don't have that over there. If you're not a citizen.
Okay, but what about other countries? Are there some countries?
Most of them don't have that. Like I said, when you go to Japan, whatever, they don't give a damn how many kids you have out there. You will never be a citizen there.
Got it. Okay, but I'm saying nationality speaking here, he would be, because that's the way it's set up. He's considered American. So that's all.
And I'm for changing that to where it makes sense, like these other countries. That's why, as Americans, we can't go and buy a bunch of property up in Japan and these beautiful places like the Seychelles, because they don't want foreigners controlling their interests. Like what's going on in Jamaica right now, all those hotels taking over the beaches. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous how the citizens of Jamaica can't even enjoy natural beaches that are just natural. It's crazy. You got to protect your stuff.
But the other part about that is too, they politicians and things be like, how much? You know, and they screw their own people over for money, and then don't get me started. Hey Al, how you doing? Says I hate to always see Jamie Foxx trying to be the center of attention. What was he doing? Sharon, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Albie Chill says I want to invite some of y'all to the dojo for real. I'll invite me to the dojo. I have my own dojo. Ask my nephew. I had to show him a few things. He's like, Tia, where did you learn all of this stuff? I said, welcome to the dojo of Tia. Yes, indeed. So yeah, just give me an invitation. I'll be there. Okay, so just skip it down. Easy E in the building. How you doing? Sorry it took me so long to get to you. I apologize. Who else? For the producer. How you doing? Says, now why you call that man that? Why you call that man Shaboozey hole? Says was given his acceptance by the DNC. He's on the payroll. Got you, but Shaboozey hole is crazy.
Sharon T1 says, if she's born in another country and the parents are USA, she can't run for president, nor born on US soil. That not born on US soil. See, but I see what you're saying, but you're kind of missing the point. John McCain was born in Panama as a military kid. He ran for president.
Yeah, that's different. If your parents are in the military and you still American citizen. Because they're deployed or what they don't like live there. They working.
Yeah, like a lot of you guys that have nephews and nieces that were born in Germany and Japan and Korea, because your loved ones are over there stationed when they're in the military. Are those kids Korean? Are those kids German? No, they're still Americans.
Yeah. Keisha, how you doing? Says we need to summon the courts. They are at the ethnocide against Black Americans right now. Yeah, that is true.
Real quick, Ursa Mahan Worlds 5726. He says, white European immigrants helped to build America. I'm going to challenge you. Please explain how they did that.
How you help build something you stole? And who told you you didn't? White Americans didn't build America. Let's keep it a buck. White Americans changed the fabric of America because there were already indigenous people here doing what they were doing. And white folks came over here and changed the fabric of the country. That's what they did. So they didn't come find something that was not already working or established. They came over here and changed the drapes. That's what they did. So have they built some things? Yeah, they built some things, but I mean, we could just go to slavery. Why didn't they? If white Americans was doing all this building, why didn't they? Why was there slavery? Like, see, what we're not gonna do is entertain foolishness. Okay, there's a lot of plagiarism coming from white America, and even in white people in Africa, it's a lot of plagiarism going on.
Yeah, because you guys got to remember when the Europeans came here, they came here with disease and all this other stuff. Right, where they couldn't deal with because it's a new land. So they had diseases over here that was affecting them. And we saw what they did to the natives, giving them blankets with measles and all that other stuff and getting rid of them. But let's talk about the Panama Canal, one of the greatest wonders of the 20th century. White folks couldn't even build that. They had to import FBAs and other African natives to build the Panama Canal because of what? The mosquitoes. It was knocking them out. And Black people, we have a propensity because of our sickle cell in our traits, and some of us that help us be immune to that.
Yeah, Kimmy said waiting anxiously on the Supreme Court decision of 14th Amendment. Yeah, that could take place any day. That's going to be a loaded conversation right there. I'll tell you that. Going to be very interesting because yes, there are people who are fighting to benefit off the 14th Amendment, which is birthright citizenship. But it's like people are arguing, well, there wasn't no immigrants over here when the birthright citizenship took place. So for the founding fathers who came up with this stuff, right, that they foresee the future, like, okay, well, this will cover immigrants too. So that's kind of where the argument is, you know. But the good old Democrat Party, they're arguing for that, right? They're trying to make it beneficial for everybody. Aboriginal Copper, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. And I see everybody's comments, but I really did not realize I was so far behind. Mike, thank you for reminding people there are ways to help the channel. Love and appreciate you for that. Let's see. I see everybody's comments. I really do. I really do. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? I'm just going down. I'm going down. Bobby, thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. It's a shout out from Vegas. You know what? I may be in Vegas next weekend. I may be smoking, drinking, and thinking. How you doing? Says the carry. It says the amount of free labor taken from Black Americans carried the United States from 80 to 100 years after American slavery, the 1930s, 1960s, white Americans got a lot of government help. Yep. And some would argue that's where that civil rights came into play, because they still needed, like, we don't want to live next to them, but we need their money, right? Black Americans. So, yeah.
And you got to remember, in the 19th century, the Industrial Revolution took place. Now, if you're saying that they took the innovation from Europe and brought it into America, I don't think that's the same as building anything. All they did was take a blueprint and bring it over here to America, and then other people built the infrastructure. I mean, not being disrespectful, but if you guys look at the white history, they are very lazy people.
Apex says if they were doctors in their own countries, and we know they have an oppressed class, they are the oppressors from there. Not always. I know what you're saying, because if I think about something like Cuba, yeah, the Cubans, they were kind of like the lighter skinned Cubans who also benefited from being upper class, right? There was this big giant divide between either the have or the have nots. So yeah, a lot of them, they left Cuba when Fidel took power from Batista. So in cases like that, but that's not always the case. A lot of them are just like, you know, or some, in a lot of cases, maybe they spoke out against the government or something. The government is like, yeah, we looking for you. So they get out of there with their very lives. So it's levels to it. And again, I like to tell the whole story as best I know it. You know what I mean? Because for me, it'd be disingenuous just to say people are just leaving their countries because they just can't, you know, or they need to build up their own countries. Like, yeah, a lot of people would stay, right, if they could. I'm just, you know, again, I'm just trying to give it a little bit of context. Brother Salam, how you doing? Says draft refused in 1961. Yeah, my dad, I refused to draft 5 times. Said, not me. Get somebody else to do it.
Wait a minute. Tell the whole damn story. And he made your mom do that Johnny letter to that dude she was dating before him.
Hey, as he says, only sweets for my sweets. This is what he said about my only sweets for my sweets, baby. African Native says the U.S. also funds those countries. Says yes. He says to be the defendant of the United States dollar, making their currencies as weak as possible. Yes, come on now. Therefore, immigration. So it's a lot. It's levels to it, and that's why I say, like me, I just like to study and read different things of how things happen. Yeah, so we have to get outside of just the basic talking points and ask why. Well, why? Like I asked, why are the Somalis over here? And when I did a little research, I said, oh, okay, well, that makes sense, because the way some people are saying, well, kind of like what they're talking points, oh, they just came over here. It's like, no, it's not what happened.
And before Black folks put their bodies on the line, United States immigration was very restrictive. Only so many numbers were allowed to come in. They didn't want the Chinese here anymore. They said, we're done. You built the canal. Get the hell up out of here. It took Black people during the civil rights movement to kick the doors open so everybody could have an opportunity to come to this great land. Up until then, you could only have 30,000 Italians. You can only have 40,000 Germans. It was very restrictive.
Brother Travis, how you doing? It says FBA versus tethers is a word using is an artificially created beef. Blacks raised in America can't get along with anybody because of the divisive teachings of Willie Lynch and our tribal DNA. We need to start small and form a bond on things that affect all people with melanin. Yeah, and that's true. I think ideally we should. But Black America, like we got issues, right? We've been told to get ourselves together, and then once we do that, we can think about the other melanated people because whether you red, brown, black, yellow, whatever, yes, we are supposed to be in alliance because we have the same oppressor, but that same oppressor keeps us divided by telling, "Oh, you're better than that one, and they're better than you," right? But yet the oppressor is like, "Yeah, y'all keep fighting." And we gonna keep stacking. So yeah.
Right. And that's one of the things that kills me about being here in Southern California, listening to these young Hispanic females, these liberal Hispanic females. 43% of Hispanics voted for Trump. Why are you coming at Black people like we're the problem? Why aren't you talking to the white people? 73% or something like that, 78% of white people voted for Trump. And so on, so forth. Overwhelmingly, 92% Black women, 78% Black men voted for Kamala. Why are you guys not addressing the issue within your own diaspora and with the colonizer that you want to be like?
Yeah, I'm just reading some of these comments. It's the secret relationship between Blacks and Jews. Volume 2 is 3 volumes. This one is Volume 2: How Jews gain control over the Black American economy. That's the name of that book. Just going down. Billy, how you doing? Says if Kamala would have won, we would be still asleep. Yep, being right back comfortable, huh? Ooh, that was close. Scatman, how you doing? Says we need our own award shows at our own media networks and stop listening to the radio stations, TV stations, and music they created. Totally agree with you. Totally. Brother Arson says I want to thank Demetri for mentioning we don't necessarily want to leave. It's not so simple. I notice many FBAs discount the fact that America itself has to do with most of our country issues. Also, yeah, it's facts. It's the fact. Just like white America is at the crux of Black American issues, right? They didn't come find the people that was in disarray. We were doing our own thing. This stuff that a lot of the degeneracy that we see in our community, that was given to us. They didn't find us that way. So yeah, we have to be factual when we speak. V, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Just going down. I'd love to read everybody's comments, but I can't. I did not realize. Black Plumber, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Lala, how you doing? Said even the Bahamas and both parents can be citizens. Okay. And Easy says D, correction. Immigrants had some parts in helping build America, but cotton-free labor and sharecropping built America. Yeah. Well, again, that's true to some degree, but by the time immigrants got here like that, it was the heavy lifting was already done, right? So it's highly disingenuous to say that immigrants built America, because when you say that, not you, Easy, but them, you're totally discounting the Black American experience that was not given. We didn't have a choice as to whether we wanted to even build America, so it was forced. It was stolen from us, which is why we want our reparations, right? So let's see. Z got it, says a Latino Mexican want a husband or a wife getting babies in hot bath and drinking water now. House clean, what? Bath, job, free food, no other place. A USA American immigrants trying to USA. Americans, okay. Jews, how you doing? Says ignorance is cancer. Shaboozey was ignorant and he should be educated. There you go. I think that's, yeah. If he's open for education, he definitely should be educated. Because, like, man, don't get up there and say no mess like that again. Don't do that. Because now he's having to, fight for his life. At least in the comment section, right? But you love white folks so much. Let's see if they love you back. That's really where it is. That's all we can do. Derek, how you doing?
Hey, real quick before we get out of here. When you get to Sha'Carri Richard, we'll do that another time. But yeah. I wanted to bring up, and I noticed you've been kind of silent about this. Your intellectual crush, Julius Malema, went on, I guess he was being sentenced. What are your thoughts on the
I'm not abreast of anything recently. I saw last week he was, really kicking in the tailbone of Donald Trump as he always does, but I don't know anything about him being sentenced. What happened? Hey, Chef D Green, what's going on with you?
I know that he was being sentenced for not corruption in the aspect of corruption, but there was some, I don't really know the thing, but I know that they got him on some kind of form of corruption, but it isn't like corruption. He did something wrong. He's facing, I think, 3 years in prison or something like that.
Now, you know damn well Julius Malema is not going to jail. Did you know?
No. This is the sentencing phase. He's already done. Yeah, they're already done.
I'm saying, do you really think the EFF is going to be like, see you later?
They've already distanced themselves.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not abreast of any of that at all. I hate to hear that because I really do like Julius Malema. I wanted to meet him when we were over there, but he was at the funeral of Mugabe. So he was gone. Xander, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm starting to run out of gas. So just, hey, boss player, how you doing? Says Somali primarily migrated to America starting in the 1990s to escape brutal civil war, widespread famine, and the collapse of their government with the help of the United States government. So thank you. That's just the facts. It's not, caping, as some people will say. It's just facts. I mean, that's really quick research. Honestly, Black Hawk Down and all of that, Joe Johns, how you doing? Says the secret relationship between Blacks and Jews, a must read. All 3 volumes, right? I'm still getting through them. I can't wait to get to the 3rd one. I'm versed on Leo Frank. I'm versed on that, but I really want to read it from the NOI perspective. These books, I'm telling you, they gangster. When I say gangster, there is no disputing it, right? They got all the, let's see, like, what is this? This is like the names of everybody, where they were from, what they had, all of that, right? Their positions, what they did. So that these are records. This is not something that they just made up, right? So yeah, really good reading. If you really want to learn something. I see all your comments, but how you doing, Patrice? What's going on with you? OG Patrice in the building. Darren, how you doing? So instead of staying home and fighting as you run as an oppressor, make that make sense. Well, you got to remember, when you talk about the weight of the United States government, which is why you hear about the Black Panther Party running around, we gonna do this. It's like, are you crazy? You will not withstand the weight of the United States government. Hell, they kidnapped the whole president and took their country. And you talking about what we ain't gonna do, what we gonna shut up. Okay. So I say all that to say, yeah, it sounds easy that you're gonna stay and fight, but when you have the corruption from their government in tandem with the weight, the money, the weapons of this government, what they gonna stay and fight and do? I know sometimes we see them throwing rocks, right? Hooray for the effort, but come on, let's be realistic here. Like, let's really get to understand what a lot of those people be working with, and they're not working with much. United States government, their plan is to destabilize government so they can go in there and control the resources. That's the job of that's why they do it. And they'll pay people some money and give them weapons and take out the leadership so we can. They'll do that, but then you got people who are caught up in the middle of that. So just kind of putting it out there. African.
Ask you guys this: in Haiti doesn't have any arms industry. How did all those guns get into Haiti?
It was a gun ferry. And for diaspora, it says FBAs were disturbed by white Americans and stayed and fought. Majority African countries have no excuse at this point. White supremacists disturb Asia too. They're still building. Well, you got to also remember, it says FBAs disturbed by white supremacists stayed and fought. We stayed and fought, but what did we get? Because normally when there's a war, and Donovan, he can speak to that, there's usually spoils of war. There's like an end game. It's not just because we're bored. We're trying to achieve something. So what did we get when we stayed and fought?
Yeah, I hope everybody understands that the modern United States military is nothing more than a mercenary force for the corporations. Just remember that.
And like I said, I'm speaking over my head. That's Donovan's, that's his lane. But Most time people ain't just out there because they're just evil and mean. That happens sometimes, but there's usually a reason as to why they're doing that. Bernice, how you doing? He says, Psalm chapter 83 tells the nations who hate us, and yes, some are black. Very true. So I think I got everybody. If I miss somebody, you know what? I didn't mean to, but I'll be back here tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Time. Donovan, what say you before we get out of here?
I just want to say, everybody, continue to watch what is going on there. Mind your business. That's between the Mexicans, Somalis, and white folks. Just whatever else is going on out there. And be objective in how you think. Open your mind and actually look at what is going on. If you are a hardcore Democrat, and God bless you if you are. If you're a hardcore Republican, God bless you if you are. But ask yourself, we got a midterm coming up. What is the Democratic Party offering Black folks to flip everything? What are we going to get out of the deal if we put these people back in power?
Nothing. Zachariah, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Be back here tomorrow. Oh, and I'll be on the African Diaspora News Channel, 11 a.m. Central Time. I will put up a notice to let y'all know that I'm about to go live, have a conversation with y'all and everything like that. As usual, we'll have a great conversation. But if I didn't get your comment, I apologize. It's just kind of the nature of having more people show up, and we are grateful. Love everybody for doing it. But I just like to say in closing, there's no ill will from me, from anybody, anywhere else in the country or the world, rather. Immigrants, I guess we should say. All I'm saying is just put some respect on the name of Black Americans, because Black Americans, our ancestors, paid a price that they were not trying to pay, right? And they were never paid for that. And so then when you see and hear other people come over here and just totally disregard the plight, if you will, that word is probably a little too light, but the plight of Black American slaves, descendants of slavery, when you do that, it's disrespectful, and you should really educate yourself, because at the end of the day, I think it's a known fact that Black Americans are a friend. We have been, right? I was saying we've really been a friend to most people, to everybody. We are considered one of the most welcoming group of people, right? Even when other people say, well, I wouldn't want my daughter, whether you from the continent, whether you from Latin America, wherever you from, Black Americans always kind of get the kick in the behind. I don't want to hang out with them, but it's like, you like everything that we do, but then to say disrespectful things, and see when Shaboozey, when he says stuff like that, it's almost like they ain't nobody. Who gonna check me? They don't have what they gonna do about it, right? Now, of course, those of us, hey LG, how you doing, that have been around here a little while, unfortunately, when we hear about immigrants, whether they was dating a white woman or they was dating a white man, whatever it is, and something happened to them, they say, well, we need justice. Where's the Black community? Then they'll dig up the tweets of them talking bad about Black Americans. It's like, hey, we're very welcoming people, but then when we see these things and how you feel about it, it's like, well, why not go ask the white people, whoever it is? So what I'm saying is, again, there's no ill will, but just remember, at the end of the day, you can't disrespect us and think that we're going to be all right with that, because we know who you're dealing with. You don't know the oppressor like we know the oppressor. We know the oppressor very well, right? So if you're an immigrant and you coming over here, yeah, you watching the news about the things they saying about Black Americans. They're the boogeyman of America. Stay away from them. So you're thinking, well, I'll go over there and I'll talk to them the same way. I'll treat them the same way. And then when that oppressor does the same thing to you, you're shocked. You're horrified. And it's like, well, what are the Democrats running around now saying? We tried to tell you. And in a lot of cases, you never even asked us, because you came over here with preconceived notions about Black Americans. It's like all you have to do is take a little walk down memory lane, and you can see that our people, we ain't no punks. We've survived a lot of things, and we gonna survive a lot of things. And one thing I will say, we're still overcoming, because we have the systemic and institutional racism that really was built for Black Americans. But one thing we're going to do is survive. We know how to survive the boogeyman, right? We know how to shuck and jive from Michael Myers, right? We're not the white folks that's falling in the woods. You know what I mean? When the boogeyman is chasing them through the white woman in the forest, we book. So we know how to survive them. So when y'all come over here and it's a shock, like I can't believe it. Even right now, right? Case in point is this ice race that we're seeing. These people are in this, oh my God, they're literally profiling us this racially because we're brown. It's like, and you, how are you shocked? You turn on the evening news and you hear about them profiling Black Americans all day long. And even if you were
and separating Black families.
Yeah, but if you see this and you have all these excuses, well, you know, those Black Americans, they this, that, and the other. One Cuban is like, oh, I get along with only 20% of Black Americans, the rest of them, you know. So it's like, now that you're being profiled, it's like, well, welcome to the party, homie. You learned that the oppressor don't love you either, huh? You learning you can get it. But see, when we was trying to tell you, hey, it ain't what you think it is. Now that even white people learn, that's why I said white supremacy hate white people too. They're learning that when they saw a white man and a white woman get it to the dome, they was like, oh, this is not what have we become? What do we become? No. It was always this. But what people don't understand is why I say get in these books. Get in these books. Because when you understand that the oppressor is not necessarily white people, it's classism. And when the oligarchy has a goal that they're trying to reach, if you white and you in the way, you gonna get it. It's called casualties of war. You are in the way and you're going to get it because we got to send a message to all the other white folks that want to be in the middle of the street, stopping what we trying to do. We want to send a message to them, right? So even white folks are learning, what have we become? We were already that. See, we know that though. We knew that America was already, it ain't what you become. It's what has turned back on you that you sanctioned and thought was all right when it was being done to us. See, y'all gave us, isn't that a shame? Oh gosh, just God, what did they do? What if they would have just complied? See, that's what we got. But when now you seeing that same man got his knee on your neck, what have we become? No, the question is, what have you co-signed when it was to other people, specifically Black Americans, and now that it's on your doorstep is, what have we become?
But Demetra, in the late 1950s and the early 1960s, LULAC and all these Hispanic Latino groups petitioned and fought to be classified as white. Are you telling me that even though they are classified as white, the real white man doesn't care? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, I can classify myself as a Smurf. That don't make me one, right? You think the Smurfs is gonna let me in their little mushrooms and stuff and, you know, hang out? No, they're like, you're not a Smurf. Okay, you can say what you want, but it's how people treat you. It's not necessarily what they say to you. It's how they treat you. So again, this is why we have been told, especially as Black Americans, our student minister Ishmael Muhammad, he said it. He says, listen, ain't nothing we can do about it. We need to, you know, let whatever's gonna happen, but we got to get together and do what we got to do, right, for our own self. But we can't stop the fall of America. There's nothing we could do about it. You calling for? We can't stop the fall of America because the fall of America started when they built a system that was designed, you know, on the principles of Babylon. It was never meant to be permanent. So yes, there's some people who even Black Americans haven't been used to seeing them get it. We're like, oh, a white woman. So if we're shocked, how do you think they feel? See, because when it's black folks, it's well, gonna continue on and have this casserole that Becky's gonna make, and well,
Going to Starbucks. Going to Starbucks,
yeah.
no problem.
So I'm saying all that to say, and I mean this in love and with the most respect that I can. Anybody outside of Black Americans, whether you American and you Latino, whatever, leave us alone. Honestly, because we haven't done anything to anybody, right? We want to try to get along with everybody, but they don't want to do that with us. And so we just learn that, hey, we do need to delineate, and delineation is not because we hate you, but unfortunately, a lot of people think it's because we hate you. I'm not trying to delineate for that. I'm trying to delineate because Black Americans, we are at the bottom of the totem pole for a whole host of reasons. And a lot of that is because of how we voted and how we see everybody else. See, Black Americans, we got to raise our self-esteem and understand that we are worthy too. Ain't nobody better than us, but sometimes we operate in that realm. And if you think I'm lying, look how we vote. Look how we spend our money. Look at the dilapidation of our communities. And I'm not talking about the systemic and institutional racism. I'm talking about the things that we also participate in. Because see, no other group votes outside of what they want, unless you're Latino, because they voted for Trump and Trump is kicking their draws up they behind, right? But most of the time they vote for the betterment of themselves. But we don't do that. We're going to, as somebody said, we're going to go and show up to the polls for the Democrat Party, and the Democrats going to say, well, thank you, Negroes, for putting us back in office. And now we're going to overturn all the immigration stuff that Trump has done, and it's going to be back to where it was. And guess what? If you think you didn't have anything now, you just wait till we change the drapes in the White House, right? So that's what this is about. The straightening of Shaboozey, in a sense, to really send the message to everybody else, don't do that, because it's going to backfire. And the one community that you did like that is the one you're going to be wanting to show up. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, as a Black American, have been that for almost 55 years, nobody shows up the way Black Americans do. And like I said, case in point, y'all watch the end of that Grammys, don't nobody show up the way we do. Now, was there some people who are not Black American? I don't know, maybe. But for the most part, they were Black Americans up there, and we show up. We make stuff shake when we show up, but we ain't showing up no more. We're showing up for ourselves. And that's kind of a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people because they've been used to us showing up. But I'm going to show up for something. Like I said, with what's in it for Black Americans? That has to be the conversation. And what's in it for Black Americans too? Because we're not saying we want a politician to only legislate for us. Like Kamala, I'm not going to do something that just out. We're not saying that. We're saying and to also. That's what we're saying. So that's all I got, y'all. But I love and appreciate every last one of y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Donovan's always welcome to come, but he's a busy man, right? He's busy. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. In the meantime, y'all have a great rest of your evening. Peace.